Fans are stunned, baffled, and locked in non-stop debate after a surge of explosive reports began spreading across the internet late last night. Headlines quickly surfaced on blogs, fan accounts, and gossip platforms suggesting that Mendeecees may have quietly offered an apology to Tamar Braxton over disturbing HIV-related rumors that many believe should never have seen the light of day. To be clear, these claims remain online reports and commentary, not verified facts. Still, that hasn't stopped the internet from going into full meltdown mode. As soon as the stories broke, emotions flared. Screenshots circulated rapidly, reaction videos dominated timelines, and fans kept repeating the same questions. How did this situation spiral so far out of control? And why is Tamar's name once again being dragged into such a sensitive and painful narrative? Longtime followers of reality TV drama say this moment feels different, darker, more intimate, far more volatile than the usual celebrity back and forth. According to online chatter, the controversy didn't stay contained for long. Yendy's name was suddenly pulled into the discussion, and many fans believe that's when everything intensified. Some argue her response spoke volumes without a single word, while others insist her silence was the most powerful statement of all. Either way, the family found itself sharply divided in the court of public opinion. Sides were chosen almost immediately, and comment sections turned into virtual war zones. Some viewers demanded accountability, others questioned intentions. Many asked whether these rumors crossed a boundary that should never be crossed, even within the world of reality TV. One fan commented, "This isn't entertainment anymore. This is dangerous." Another pushed back, saying, "If these reports are even partly true, the apology says everything." Behind the scenes, sources claimed emotions were running high, conversations were strained, and old wounds were suddenly reopened. Allegations of betrayal, image control, and reputation management began circulating alongside whispers of private phone calls and heated exchanges. Nothing has been officially confirmed, yet the story continued to gain momentum with every repost and reaction. Now fans are left speculating. Are these reports accurate? What truly happened behind closed doors? Why is this all resurfacing now? And how does Yendi really feel watching everything unfold in real time? Stay tuned, because the details being debated next are exactly why this story refuses to fade away. The online conversation didn't start quietly. It erupted with a flood of posts claiming new reports were circulating about a private apology that allegedly took place out of the public eye. According to gossip blogs and fan pages, the apology was reportedly connected to earlier HIV-related claims that linked Tamar's name in ways many viewers found deeply troubling. Again, these remain unconfirmed discussions, not established facts, but fans reacted as if a bomb had dropped. Timelines filled with shock, anger, and disbelief over how something so sensitive could be weaponized as reality TV chatter. Commentary from people claiming proximity to the situation suggested the emotional toll of the rumors had finally reached a breaking point. Some reports alleged Mendeecees felt boxed in by the backlash, while others claimed the pressure came from watching the narrative spiral beyond anyone's control. Fans were quick to point out that when health-related accusations are involved, there is no such thing as harmless gossip. Emotions ran hot, and many felt the damage had already been done, regardless of verification. Supporters of Tamar were especially outspoken. They flooded comment sections, insisting her name should never have been pulled into such speculation. One fan said watching the rumor spread felt intentionally cruel, while another argued that once something like that is said, it never truly disappears. Others reminded viewers that while Tamar has been open about many aspects of her life, this crossed a line that should have remained untouched. Almost overnight, the online tone shifted from curiosity to outright outrage. Amid all the noise, reports began surfacing that an apology had been made privately. Some accounts claimed it was delivered through intermediaries, while others said it was direct. No audio, no screenshots, just people insisting it happened. Still, fans clung to the idea. Many argued that the very act of apologizing suggested an awareness of how far the rumors had gone. Others disagreed, pointing out that apologies don't automatically signal guilt, especially in a culture where gossip often distorts reality. What truly fueled the fire, though, was the alleged emotional context surrounding it all. Online conversations began painting a picture of mounting tension, restless nights, and exchanges weighed down by regret. Some claimed the alleged apology was described as intense, deeply emotional, and filled with phrases like misunderstanding and crossed signals. Whether that's accurate or simply part of an exaggerated narrative remains uncertain, but fans couldn't stop theorizing about what may have been said and how it was received. Then there was Yendi. According to reports circulating at the same time, her response quickly became a storyline of its own. Fans scrutinized everything from her social media presence to her noticeable silence. Some said she appeared composed yet emotionally distant in recent appearances, while others believed her lack of public commentary was deliberate, a calculated way to manage the situation without amplifying it. Longtime reality TV watchers argued that silence during moments like this often signals something deeper unfolding behind the scenes. Off-camera, commentary channels began suggesting that Yendi was trapped in the middle of a storm she neither started nor could escape. The narrative taking shape was one where loyalty, family reputation, and public perception were colliding all at once. Fans debated whether she should speak out to defend, step back to create distance, or remain quiet and allow the noise to burn itself out. Every option seemed loaded with risk, and even from the outside, viewers could sense that pressure. Meanwhile, other voices online questioned how such rumors were allowed to gain momentum in the first place. Some pointed fingers at bloggers, while others blamed reality TV culture itself, arguing that dramatic storytelling has blurred the boundary between entertainment and real harm. Many fans stressed that health-related claims should never be treated as plot devices. To them, this situation exposed how easily commentary can shift into something dangerous when limits are ignored. As the days passed, the story continued to evolve through reactions rather than verified information. Some fans claimed Tamar appeared hurt but composed, while others insisted she was furious behind closed doors. None of this was confirmed, yet the emotional stakes felt very real to the audience. Discussions around respect, responsibility, and the lasting impact of words, spoken or implied, began dominating forums. The rumored apology became more symbolic than factual. For some, it represented an attempt to contain the damage. For others, it came far too late. Debates over trust and betrayal filled comment sections, with fans questioning whether relationships could ever truly recover after something like this. Many argued that once health accusations enter the conversation, the dynamic shifts permanently, no matter how many explanations follow. Reaction videos continued piling up views as creators debated tone, accountability, and intent. Some offered empathy, saying pressure leads to mistakes. Others showed no mercy, insisting this should never have happened at all. The divided audience only amplified the story's reach. What stood out most was how deeply personal the narrative felt. Despite being driven largely by reports and speculation, fans projected their own experiences onto the situation, intensifying the emotional response. Some shared stories of loved ones affected by similar issues, saying seeing such claims used as gossip was triggering. Others argued this moment should serve as a warning about how far entertainment commentary can go when chasing clicks and attention. By this stage of the conversation, one thing became clear to those following closely. Regardless of what actually happened behind closed doors, the reports alone had already shifted public perception of everyone involved. Trust felt shaken, boundaries felt crossed, and once again, the internet demonstrated how quickly speculation can escalate into a storm no one fully controls. As the discussion continued spreading, new layers were added by observers on the outside. Fans began revisiting old interviews, reality show scenes, and past conflicts, attempting to connect dots that may never have been meant to connect. According to online commentary, this is where the narrative expanded from a single apology rumor into a broader emotional storyline involving unresolved history, lingering resentment, and long-standing tension beneath the surface. Many viewers pointed out that Tamar has often spoken about feeling misunderstood and misrepresented publicly. So when her name became tied to something as serious as health-related speculation, fans said it felt like an attack on her humanity, not just her image. Reaction posts claimed she was blindsided by how rapidly the reports spread, especially since no official statement ever confirmed the claims being discussed. Many argued that simply hearing your name linked to something like that can feel deeply violating regardless of the truth. Online voices began imagining what those private moments might have felt like. Some suggested the conversations were emotionally charged, with old grievances resurfacing. Others believed the rumored apology wasn't about admitting guilt, but about acknowledging the harm caused by letting the rumors spiral unchecked. Again, none of this was verified, but the emotional framing resonated strongly with viewers who felt invested in the people involved. At the same time, attention on Yendi intensified. Commentary channels speculated she was navigating a complicated mix of loyalty, frustration, and emotional fatigue. Fans debated whether her role was that of a protector, a mediator, or someone simply trying to keep her family grounded while chaos swirled around them. Every move was dissected, every post, every like, every caption. Even inactivity was treated as a statement. Some fans believed Yendi's silence was strategic, arguing she understood how easily words could be twisted. Others felt her quiet presence spoke volumes on its own, suggesting disappointment, exhaustion, or both. Reaction videos frequently zoomed in on her facial expressions from recent appearances, breaking them down frame by frame. Viewers said they could feel the tension, even when nothing was spoken aloud. Online discussions also introduced the idea of pressure coming from behind the scenes. Some speculated that management teams, close friends, or even network insiders encouraged a measured response to limit further fallout. Others suggested the apology rumor was part of an attempt to reset the narrative before it spiraled beyond control. Fans went back and forth over whether this reflected genuine concern or a strategic effort to protect public image, and those debates only drove more engagement. As days passed, increasingly imagined details were added to the story. Commentary described private conversations as emotionally charged, with raised voices followed by moments of reflection. Some claimed tears were shed, while others described long pauses and heavy silences where nothing could undo what had already been implied. Once again, these were interpretations rather than verified events, but they fed into the dramatic tone audiences had come to expect. Another layer that gained momentum was the response of extended circles. According to online chatter, friends and associates were reportedly split. Some were said to be pushing for reconciliation and understanding, while others felt boundaries had been crossed beyond repair. Fans aligned themselves accordingly, projecting their own beliefs onto the situation. Forgiveness versus accountability became a recurring theme across comment sections. What kept the story gripping was how emotionally real it felt, even without proof. Viewers argued this was no longer about who said what, but about how quickly reputations and emotional well-being can be shaken in the public eye. The notion that a rumor alone could prompt private apologies became a major point of discussion. People questioned whether the internet now holds so much influence that silence itself is perceived as guilt. Tamar's imagined response also became part of the evolving narrative. Some fans believed she would accept an apology but never forget the hurt. Others insisted she would establish firm boundaries going forward. Commentary portrayed her as standing her ground, refusing to let speculation define her. That portrayal strengthened her support base, with many praising her resilience despite the lack of public confirmation. Meanwhile, debates around responsibility continued. Some viewers argued that everyone involved should have spoken up sooner to shut down harmful talk. Others countered that responding only fuels gossip. The absence of clear answers left endless room for interpretation, which is exactly what kept the story alive. As time went on, the rumor mill began blending emotion with imagination. Fans started speculating about future interactions. Would there be awkward encounters? Would relationships shift permanently? Viewers envisioned tense reunions in carefully chosen words. Though speculative, these scenarios felt plausible enough to keep audiences invested. The larger question emerging from the commentary centered on boundaries. Many fans said this situation exposed how far entertainment narratives can go before entering dangerous territory. Health, they argued, should never be treated as a dramatic device. Others pushed back, saying that once something enters public discourse, controlling it becomes nearly impossible. Through it all, one thing remained constant online. People felt deeply affected, even as outsiders. Emotions ran high not because facts were known, but because the implications felt heavy. Trust, respect, and dignity were being debated in real time. By this point, the story had moved beyond a simple apology rumor. It had become a reflection of how quickly speculation can reshape relationships and public perception. Fans continued refreshing their feeds, waiting for clarity that never arrived. Commentary itself became the driving force of the drama, pushing the narrative forward through emotion rather than confirmation. As the online storm grew, focus slowly shifted from what was allegedly said to what the situation revealed about everyone involved. Commentary pages began framing the reports as a cautionary tale, arguing this was less about a single rumor and more about how fast narratives can spin out of control once emotions and assumptions take over. Fans started asking deeper questions, not just about the apology being discussed, but about how trust erodes when silence and speculation collide. Some online voices suggested Mendeecees was being portrayed in two very different ways, depending on who was speaking. One side described him as someone trying to contain a fire he never meant to ignite. The other painted him as careless for allowing such rumors to linger around his name in the first place. Reaction videos often presented both angles, sometimes within the same clip, highlighting just how divided the audience had become. Emotions remained high as viewers projected intent where none had been confirmed. Discussions around personal responsibility grew louder. People debated whether public figures have a greater duty to shut down harmful narratives immediately or whether responding only legitimizes them. Many argued that when health-related claims are involved, hesitation can feel like indifference. Others pushed back, saying the internet demands instant responses without considering the emotional toll of addressing something so invasive. Fans also began speculating about private conversations that may have taken place long before these reports surfaced. Some believed unresolved tension had been quietly building over time, waiting for a moment like this to bring everything into the open. Others felt the situation was a simple misunderstanding amplified by gossip culture. Both viewpoints added fuel to the drama, creating layers of imagined backstory that made the narrative feel more complex. Even when built largely on assumption, Yendi remained a central figure in the conversation, not because of what she said, but because of what she chose not to say. Commentary channels framed her silence as a careful balance between protecting her family and refusing to feed speculation. Fans closely analyzed her public appearances, pointing out moments where she appeared calm yet guarded. Some interpreted her restraint as strength, while others saw it as frustration she deliberately kept private. This sparked broader conversations about emotional labor, with viewers discussing how often women in these situations are expected to explain, smooth over conflict, or speak on behalf of others. Many argued Yendi should not be expected to carry the emotional burden of a situation she did not create. Still, some believed her perspective could offer clarity, even if clarity is hard to achieve when a story is driven by reports rather than facts. As the narrative grew, the role of fans became impossible to ignore. Comment sections turned into virtual group therapy sessions, with people sharing personal experiences of how rumors and assumptions had impacted their own lives. That emotional investment blurred the line between entertainment and lived experience. Viewers said that was why this story felt different. It touched on fear, vulnerability, and the lasting damage of words spoken carelessly. Some commentaries suggested Tamar's strength lay in choosing not to respond directly. Fans imagined her prioritizing peace over public debate, refusing to give attention to claims that never deserved it. Others believed her silence was strategic, allowing the speculation to expose itself without her needing to engage. Either way, supporters praised her for maintaining composure and dignity amid the chaos. The concept of repair also entered the discussion. People debated whether apologies, rumored or real, can truly undo harm caused by public speculation. Some argued that acknowledgement is the first step toward healing. Others insisted certain boundaries, once crossed, permanently change how people view one another. That tension kept audiences invested because it mirrored conflicts many recognize in their own lives. Reaction videos began framing the moment as a potential turning point. Some creators suggested it could shift how future gossip is handled, encouraging greater caution around sensitive subjects. Skeptics dismissed the idea, saying the cycle would repeat with the next dramatic headline. Still, the discussion itself signaled a collective pause, where viewers questioned the ethics of consuming and sharing unverified claims. Another layer emerged around reputation management. Commentary speculated that teams behind the scenes were closely tracking public reaction, gauging sentiment, and deciding if or when to step in. Some fans criticized this notion, arguing it reduced genuine emotion to calculated strategy. Others saw it as an unavoidable reality of public life, where narratives must be managed to prevent lasting damage. As the story lingered, it became increasingly symbolic. It represented how fragile public trust can be, and how narratives can be weaponized. Viewers said this wasn't just about a single rumor, but about a system that rewards outrage and speed over care and accuracy. Those reflections gave the story weight beyond its original spark. With silence filling the gaps, imagined scenarios took shape. Fans envisioned difficult conversations, quiet reflection, and decisions made far from cameras. These imagined moments became part of a shared narrative, reshaped with each retelling. The lack of confirmation didn't weaken the story. It strengthened it by leaving room for emotion and interpretation. Throughout it all, one feeling remained constant among those watching closely: uncertainty. People didn't know what truly happened, but they felt the gravity of what was being discussed. That emotional weight kept the story alive, driven by shared reactions rather than verified facts. And as the commentary grew more reflective, many viewers sensed that whatever the truth might be, the rumors alone had already reshaped how everyone involved would be viewed moving forward. By this stage, fans felt the situation had grown far beyond a single rumor or a handful of posts. Commentary across social media suggested the emotional fallout had become the real headline. People were no longer arguing over who said what, but questioning how something so sensitive could take on a life of its own without any confirmed facts. Viewers described it as watching a slow, uncomfortable unraveling, where everyone involved was judged in real time by an audience working with only fragments of the story. Some voices online began pointing out how relentless public scrutiny can corner people. Being constantly watched, dissected, and speculated about creates a level of pressure few can truly grasp unless they've lived it. Fans said that pressure alone could explain why reports of private apologies even surfaced in the first place, not as an admission of guilt, but as a response to emotional overload. The idea that someone might apologize simply to calm the storm resonated with many who felt overwhelmed by conflict in their own lives. As the conversation continued, the tone gradually shifted from outrage to something closer to fatigue. Viewers admitted they felt emotionally drained keeping up with the story, yet still couldn't look away. Commentary creators discussed how modern gossip culture thrives on repetition. A claim doesn't need proof to feel believable if it's echoed often enough. Fans began acknowledging how they, too, had been pulled into that cycle, reacting emotionally before questioning the source. Yendy's place in the narrative remained central, but its meaning evolved. Instead of demanding statements from her, many fans began expressing respect for her restraint. They said remaining silent in the middle of chaos can be an act of self-preservation. Some viewers imagined the private weight she might be carrying, balancing loyalty, frustration, and the responsibility of shielding her family from further harm. Commentary reframed her silence not as avoidance, but as composure in a situation spinning out of control. Tamar's role in the story also took on deeper symbolism. Supporters spoke about how painful it must be to see your name linked to something so personal through nothing more than online speculation. Fans argued that even when rumors are false, the emotional impact can still be very real. Many praised her decision not to engage publicly, saying silence can sometimes be the strongest boundary a person can set. That idea opened wider conversations about dignity and self-respect in the face of public judgment. The family dynamic being discussed online added another layer of emotional gravity. Commentary suggested situations like this can quietly strain relationships in ways cameras never capture. Fans imagined difficult conversations unfolding away from social media, where reassurance is needed but certainty is impossible. Trust, once shaken by rumor, doesn't easily return to its original state. Viewers said this uncertainty made the story feel painfully human, even as the details remained unclear. As the narrative settled, people began questioning their own role in amplifying it. Some admitted they shared headlines without reading carefully. Others said they reacted emotionally before considering the impact. That self-examination became part of the discussion itself. Fans acknowledged that curiosity and empathy often collide online, and too often curiosity wins. Seeing that awareness spread gave the conversation a more reflective tone. Commentary channels began highlighting a familiar pattern. A rumor appears. Reactions explode. Silence is interpreted as confirmation. Imagined motives fill the gaps. By the time clarity arrives, if it ever does, the emotional damage is already done. Viewers said this story followed that pattern almost exactly. That realization made some uncomfortable, because it forced them to confront how predictable the cycle has become. Another major theme that emerged was the idea of repair. Fans debated whether emotional harm caused by speculation can truly be undone. Some believed private conversations and mutual understanding could eventually heal the wounds. Others argued that once something enters public discourse, it leaves a permanent mark, no matter how quietly it's addressed later. This divide reflected deeper questions about forgiveness, accountability, and memory. The longer the story lingered, the more symbolic it became. Viewers stopped seeing it as simple celebrity drama and began treating it as a case study in how fragile reputations are in the digital age. Commentary suggested this wasn't about a single rumor, but about a system that rewards speed and shock over care and accuracy. That perspective gave the story weight beyond entertainment. Even as the story continued circulating in gossip spaces, some fans expressed hope that moments like this could encourage greater responsibility around sensitive subjects. They argued that health-related claims should never be treated as entertainment, even hypothetically. Others were more skeptical, saying outrage culture will always find another headline to chase. Still, the fact that this discussion happened at all suggested a growing awareness, even if meaningful change feels slow as engagement gradually cooled. The narrative shifted from breaking drama to lasting impact. Viewers began wondering how this situation might shape future interactions among those involved. Would conversations become more guarded? Would boundaries grow firmer? Would distance remain? Many acknowledged they might never know, and for the first time, a large portion of the audience seemed willing to accept that uncertainty instead of fighting it. What eventually settled over the conversation was a quiet sense of recognition. People recognized that rumors can cause real harm even when they aren't true. They recognize that silence can be interpreted in countless ways. And they recognize that living publicly often demands a level of resilience that feels deeply unfair. This understanding softened the tone, replacing anger with reflection. By the time the noise began to fade, the story no longer felt like an active scandal. It felt like a reminder of how quickly words can spiral, how easily empathy can be overshadowed by speculation, and how lasting the emotional imprint of rumors can be. Fans were left not with answers, but with lingering thoughts about responsibility, boundaries, and the real people behind the headlines. In that quiet aftermath, one thing became clear to those still paying attention. Regardless of what was said or left unsaid behind closed doors, the true impact of the reports came from how they made people feel. Those emotions shaped opinions, conversations, and memories long after the headlines stopped trending. And once that emotional weight is created, no apology or explanation can fully erase it. Now that you've seen how these reports unfolded and how the emotional ripple continues online, the bigger question becomes what you think about it all. You've watched how rumors alone can ignite reactions, divide fans, and place real people under intense scrutiny without clear confirmation. Situations like this force you to decide where you stand when speculation spreads faster than facts. Do you believe private apologies, even rumored ones, can truly repair the damage caused by sensitive claims being discussed publicly? Or do you think once a line is crossed, especially involving health-related narratives, the impact can't really be undone? Some fans believe this story highlights how dangerous gossip culture can be, while others argue that silence only fuels confusion and leaves too much open to interpretation. You also have to consider the role of the audience in moments like this. When you share a headline, leave a comment, or react emotionally, do you think about the human cost behind the story? Or does the drama pull you in before reflection has a chance to catch up? This situation has clearly caused many viewers to pause and reconsider how speculation can slowly become accepted as truth. Now we want to hear from you. Do you think staying silent is a powerful boundary? Or does it create more questions than answers? Should public figures address rumors directly, or is refusing to engage the healthiest option? And how do you feel about the way fans and commentary channels handle stories involving deeply personal topics? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let your voice be part of the conversation. If you found this breakdown engaging and thought-provoking, make sure to like the video so more people can see it. Subscribe to the channel for more reality TV commentary and trending stories, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update.